My ex-wife and I had been separated for over a year before the divorce hearing finally came. Our marriage had been full of fights, lies, and endless drama. I was the one who filed for divorce after catching her cheating on me multiple times, but she always believed she could somehow twist the situation in her favor. She thought I would give her whatever she wanted just to keep the peace, but I had reached my limit. I was ready to move on with my life, and I didn't care about her mind games anymore. On the morning of our final divorce hearing, I walked into the courtroom feeling nervous but relieved that this chapter of my life was coming to an end. Then I saw her walk in, dressed like she was attending a party, with a confident smile and a very obvious baby bump. My jaw almost dropped, but I kept my calm. I hadn't been with her for months, so I knew the baby couldn't be mine. Still, she tried to give me a knowing look, as if she was about to win. She walked straight up to the judge and mentioned her pregnancy, acting as though it was my responsibility. She spoke in a dramatic tone about how she needed financial support and how the baby's future depended on my money. I could see her acting skills at work, pretending to be the victim, but deep down, I knew she was lying. My lawyer had already prepared for something like this. He stood up and presented evidence, screenshots of her social media, messages between her and her new boyfriend, and even photos of her attending parties with him. Every single piece of evidence proved that she was in a relationship with someone else and that the child wasn't mine. The room went silent. Her confidence vanished, and she looked like she wanted to disappear. She tried to argue, but the judge wasn't having it. He asked her a few direct questions, and she stuttered, unable to answer. The judge ruled that I had no obligation to pay her anything beyond what was already decided. In fact, her attempt to lie only made her look worse in the court's eyes. I will never forget the look on her face when she realized her plan had failed. She had walked into that courtroom thinking her pregnancy would secure her a big payout, but instead, it backfired. After the hearing, she stormed out without saying a word to me, and I felt like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. As I walked out of the courthouse, I realized that this was the closure I had needed for so long. Her lies and manipulation no longer had any control over me. I was free, and she was left to face the consequences of her own choices. Would you like me to continue the story by adding what happened?